Joining us live here now on the show, one of the standouts of PG National, Benny Montgomery. Benny, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man, we're really happy to have you. You're another one of those guys that's really stood out over the showcase circuit here early on. You've got a lot of people in your court, that's for sure. Going back to PG National, the showcase, tell me a little bit about how that experience was for you, and then just as a whole, how has the 2020 summer circuit gone thus far?
It's been crazy, especially with Corona. I guess every single conversation about baseball in 2020 has to center around that a little bit. Of course, you wish you wouldn't have to, but it was definitely interesting because I hadn't seen live pitching since I think March or April going into that event. I think I had in between March and that event, I may have had one scrimmage and seen a couple guys, none of them which were near the caliber that I was getting at National. So going in, I knew I was going to be maybe a little bit cold, and I knew a lot of kids would be in my shoes. I was confident that I'd do okay enough, which I think I did, but it was definitely nerve-wracking, and I was anxious because just the lack of seeing it and then going from 0 to 100 off the bat, which was tough. But I was happy with how it went.
And literally it was, close to 100 at times in terms of what you were seeing. And we were talking about it on last week's show in terms of, the showcase setup and the coronavirus shutdown. It's already slanted toward pitchers because they're able to show their full arsenal. They really go out there in short stints and, and throw as hard as they possibly can. You brought up a great point sort of talking about the lack of live pitching. And that was one of the other things that we had sort of hammered home. But talk to me about some of the things that you did do during the shutdown to try and stay sharp. I mean, obviously you can't replicate that in-game experience, but
the shutdown started in March. So what it basically was 3 months extra of off season. It wasn't, I just carried in my lifting, running, and BP routines through those 3 months. So we had I think we had a month of high school practices because the weather in PA was pretty mild this year. We got 2 scrimmages in. And then they called it. We were actually on our way 2 hours for another scrimmage when everything started getting shut down. We had to turn around. But other than that, I was lifting 5 or 6 times a week. I love lifting. A lot of people don't think I would, I guess, but my size, I don't think it doesn't replicate what I do in the weight room. And then I'm running a ton, 2 or 3 track workouts a week back in Corona season. Hill sprints, plyos, the whole bit. And then I was long tossing 1 or 2 times a week and hitting. Long tossing was, I felt my arm going down the drain because I just wasn't throwing every single day like I normally was at that season. But I got it back to normal up at National.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
One of the top throws in the first day.
Kind of shows when you hit 97.
I wanted 100, but so I was a little disappointed.
Well, hey, man, you still topped the charts, and if you would have hit 100, you would have just blown everyone out of the water. But no, kudos to your performance at PG National. It was certainly impressive. Is there anything about that specific event, maybe a pitcher that you had to face, or a coach or a scout that you talked to that really just kind of defined the experience for you?
Yeah, well, I remember going into it, and Brock Selvage was the first guy I had to face, which is a little unfair considering the circumstances. I think he came out, what was he throwing? Low and mid-90s, lefty, good stuff. What did I do off of him? I think I had a long fly out, maybe foul a little bit. But
yeah, I think that was the one that you just hooked foul a little bit.
Yeah, we actually talked about it last week. We were like, man, if that would have stayed fair.
Who made that catch, too? Because that was an insane catch that the guy made. But anyway, keep going.
I'm not sure who made that catch, but
I forget who it was.
No, it was so right out of the gate I get him. That was definitely interesting to see that without much of a warm up. The other pitchers that I faced, I think I got mostly 90 to 92 righties, which isn't terrible, I guess, considering where and who was there. But I was, if I would have had a tournament or 2 of seeing baseballs before that, I think I would have done a lot better. But it is what it is.
Any players that, position guys that you were in drills with, maybe were on the other side of the field with, or got to play alongside that maybe you weren't that familiar with that stuck out to you just in terms of the overall skills? And
right. I got to meet Braylon Bishop for the first time in person, which was cool. He's a good athlete. He can do a backflip, which was cool. I wanted to learn how to do one of those, but my mom wouldn't let me.
That's the right way to play it off.
Yes. So unfortunately, I didn't get to learn that. Now I met Braylon. He's a cool kid, good athlete. Josh Baez, he was a lot bigger since when I saw him last year at Area Code.
Yeah.
Who else would I say? I saw Isaac Pacheco. He was on my Team Elite team last year.
Yep.
He hit pretty well. Ryan Spikes, all these guys that played with my team last year, I got to see him again. They all look good. So.
Nice, man. Well, on the other side of that, I know you were talking about having to face Brock Selvage and everything. Was there a pitcher that you had to go up against that really stood out with the exception of Brock? Anybody that just had nasty stuff?
Honestly, nobody like Brock was. That I didn't get much faster than that. I think Jackson Baumeister pitched. He was good. I think he was 90, 92 as well. And then some more low 90s righties. I thought I was going to get Chase Petty, but we got in this first, we were supposed to face Chase was the starting pitcher in our second game. And if we would have started at the top of the lineup, I would have faced him. But we started where we left off in the first game, so I didn't get him. But so I woke up that morning fully expecting to face him, so a little bummed when it didn't happen. But
yeah.
Oh well.
Something I actually wanted to, and I know I had mentioned it to Joe off air, is you have a really unique swing. Probably one of my favorite swings in the draft. But it's different than other people.
First time I've heard somebody say
I'm
that.
sure.
Wow.
I don't want to come out and be like, but break down your swing for me. I'm interested to hear what's going on.
I don't know. I can't honestly break it down for you because it's not what I want it to look like. It just happens. I guess it was a lot better this week at PBR. I guess like I tried something new in cages this week. I got my hands back early, and I started with my hands lower in my stance to try to get rid of the hitch, as you all like to call it. But it was, yeah. So I'm starting back there. I think it'll get better as I go into the season a little bit more. It's 100 times better than it was last year. I think I remember I was at Area Code, and I think Shooter Hunt got a video of me hitting off of another kid on another team, and my swing was so bad. So I'm happy with the way it's progressed. But, of course, I'd want my hands to be quieter and feet to be quieter, but I think I'll get there as I keep playing. It felt good in BP this week, so we'll see.
The bat speed is what matters, man, and you got that.
Right.
Oh, yeah. You've got that in spades. Hey, kind of going off that swing question one more time, I wanted to follow up. Is there a guy in the bigs that you try to model your swing after? And then kind of the opposite side of that is there a guy in the bigs that a lot of people say your swing looks like?
Hunter Pence, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that one plenty over the last 2 weeks. Hunter Pence, there's another guy. Gary Sheffield, maybe? I think I got one comparison there. I always try to model my swing over Chase Utley when I was little because he was my favorite player. And I did a pretty good job of it, too, when I was 9 or 10. I'd watch the first pitch go by every single time. Wore number 26, and then I got a leg kick and started dropping my hands on the big field. So that went down the drain a little bit. But, Chase Utley for sure. Bryce Harper, I like his swing. Of course, Mike Trout, but I'm sure everybody says that.
Yeah, dude, that's quite a company. Where do you go from here?
You're just hammering the Philly guys.
Yeah.
It'd be like Mike Schmidt. You start throwing some of those dudes out there. At least you didn't say Ryan Howard. I'm happy you said Chase Utley.
Not Ryan Howard, no.
So are you a Phillies fan? Are you a Phillies guy?
Yes.
Okay.
I was, yes. I find as I play more baseball, I just appreciate baseball. So I got away from fan as much and I just watch whoever. But yeah, back when the Phillies were good in 2008, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins, all them. I loved watching.
So
that's what got me into baseball back then. So
I'm going to ask the mindless question then.
Yeah.
Steak or roast pork?
Steak.
Oh.
100%.
What's your steak place?
I like Ruth's Chris, but we don't go there often. That's when I do something well in my parents.
I meant the sandwich, man.
No, steak. No, are you guys? You're not from PA, are you?
My wife is from Jersey, and I had friends that went to school in Pennsylvania, so I was in Philly like once a month.
Cheesesteaks. I don't. It's more of a Philly thing.
Yeah, roast pork, man.
Harrisburg there we have nothing cool. So
You had some drive-in I used to stop in all the time when I was going back and forth between Virginia and Massachusetts, but we're getting way off topic now.
Yeah,
I was like an old school drive-in. This is like in early 2000s. I'm old.
We have lots of corn. That's about it, to be honest with you.
Well, are you going with that, Ralph? Is yours going to be your best steak?
Huh? Yeah, it was gonna be what the best steak and cheese place is. I thought he was like directly in Philadelphia all of a sudden. Allegheny, it's got to be Pittsburgh, but there you go.
I am Pittsburgh, Philly. I'm in the no man's land in between.
Yeah, I know. Harrisburg.
Gotcha. Well, hey man, on this short little circuit that you've been going on, or maybe over the last year and a half, is there anybody that's in this 2021 class that you've grown especially close with? Anybody that you consider a good friend?
I've grown close to a lot of my fellow UVA commit guys. So Shane Panzini, Pierce Coppola, who both had really good outings at National.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know Pierce has been up to 94, and he's like 6'8" and lefty.
Yep.
Yeah, he's starting to put his mechanics together, man. He's dangerous.
He's doing really well. Casey Sauke, good friends with him. He was there too. I think he had a pretty good tournament as well.
Yeah, he's had us talking too.
Yeah, he's been doing well. The UVA class is looking good right now. I'm very friendly with most of them. Other than that, all my team elite buddies, Michael Massey, Louis Stallone. Who else that I'm friends with? That's probably close friends, Kenny Mallory, a lot of those kids. I try to stay pretty tight with my UVA and team elite friends. So
nice.
Cool that.
I'm not going to ask you more food questions. Staying back on baseball, is there what would you say your strongest characteristic is as a player?
I like my athleticism. I'm fast and I can jump and I do everything well. I think if I wasn't playing baseball, I'd be a dual threat quarterback. But I guess it's a little too late to go down that road, and I have no regrets either. But I say my athleticism and hustle. I guess you can't control athleticism, but you can control hustle. So leave it all out on the field.
Yeah, man. I've watched a good amount of videos on you, and your interview, your maturity really sticks out. Just your effort, your hustle, all the intangibles that you can't really teach. So yeah, we've definitely seen that. It's jumped off the page for me. I want to talk to you about maybe the flip side of that. What are you looking to improve? Like what part of your game do you think needs the most refinement?
I want to calm down my swing. I'm guessing that's what everybody says is my weakness right now, and I agree with them. Not necessarily change most of it, but just keep it quieter. I was really antsy at National, so that didn't help. But next week we'll go to Hoover for the UBC Perfect Game Baseball America tournament, and we'll be getting 95 every game there. So I'll have to figure it out. But yeah, so just calm down my swing, and that will do well for me. Make my hitch a little bit better, but that's more natural because it's unconscious for me at this moment. So
sure,
just quiet everything down.
You talked a little bit, obviously, about working on the swing and some of those things. Are you using any tech at all?
No tech, no. Just outdoor batting cages right now. All the tech is locked up inside with all the corona regulations.
Sure.
So
yeah, baseball as God intended it.
I've used hit tracks a couple times.
Okay.
I guess that's not as much swing mechanic feedback type of thing. So
yeah, little bit more outcomes, that sort of thing. They're actually my next door neighbors. I'm less than a mile from Hit Tracks headquarters. Really? Yep, they're right next to my house. It's kind of funny.
Probably made a lot of money off that product.
They're really, it's funny. There's still like 10 guys, and they have like a room set up in the back. You can go back there and take some hacks, and they're in like every Dick's Sporting Goods in America now too. But anyway, I keep on getting off track.
That's how.
More baseball questions.
So going back to PG National, was there any funny stories with any other players or any pranks or anything that was done that you're willing to share?
No, not too much. All I remember, not with any players, because we were all just so foreign to the baseball atmosphere at that point. Coming back from everything, all we just wanted to do was play. So there wasn't too much joking around. But I did get a 103 exit velo, but they forgot to post it, which because I remember seeing the Perfect Game came out with their top exit velos, and I was like, why am I not there? I was like, they must have forgotten it. And that was going to be my, like, what you said, the swing electronic feedback. That was what it was going to be. I wanted to see it. Didn't see it. So I was a little disappointed about that, but I tied what I got at the main event in December, so it wasn't too big of a deal. And I guess, kind of to your question, at a showcase at the main event that I did in December, that I kind of got more notice from, I guess, from that event, I lost my glove in the middle of it, and it's my favorite glove. It's a Rawlings gold glove. I put red laces in it and everything, and I lost it at a field. I'm losing my mind because I got there at 8 a.m. the following morning. I look at my bag and there's no glove. And I think every baseball player knows that feeling. And more than that, just telling my dad that I don't have my gloves, which is even worse. But I remember, I think Mr. Gardner, who's one of the Perfect Game guys that was there, I went up to him and I was like, hey, I think I left my glove at the field yesterday. Is there any chance that anybody saw us? So he made calls around and somebody brought my glove to the field. It's not the most interesting of events, but I was losing my mind.
That didn't show up in the scouting report, Benny.
No, it would not show up in the scouting report. But I had
Forgot glove.
Forgot glove. Yeah.
20 makeup.
Because I just because I'm so crazy about organization and stuff like that when I didn't have it, it threw me off.
Totally understand.
So I used some other kids' hard to hide gloves, so it was fine. But
you need to go get that glove. That turned out well.
Yeah.
I think I got it back in the middle of that game. I think they hustled and got it for me, which I was super happy about.
It's your Jordan flu game.
Yes.
I'm interested though. You say you're obviously well organized. Do you know what your schedule looks like for the rest of the summer? Like, do you know what events you're going to be going to over the next 2 months?
Yes, I have some men's league stuff this weekend that I'm doing just to stay in shape. Local. We'll see good enough pitching there, so it'll be a good warm-up. And then next weekend, I think, the 12th to the 15th of July, I'll be at the UBC thing in Hoover. That'll be really good competition there.
Yep. That'll
be better than most I'll see this year. And then I drive to Atlanta for the WWBA right after that. So 2-hour drive to Atlanta for a week. Not looking forward to that one as much, but that's all the stuff that I would have been hopefully doing the PDP, but that got canceled.
Yeah.
That was my goal to get into that, but then Corona happened, so that got shut down.
Yeah.
And then after that, Area Code and East Coast Pro, I'll be doing. I hear that Area Code's going to be at Lake Point this year and not in Long Beach, which is definitely a switch. And then hopefully Perfect Game and Under Armour, if I get invited to those. So that will be my summer. And then any USA stuff maybe at the end of the year. But everything is just so, who knows right now with everything going on.
Well, speaking of goals, do you have any goals for the next 11 months? Is there a place you're trying to get yourself positioned for next year's draft, or maybe a metric that you're trying to achieve between now and then?
I just want to make myself as good as I possibly can be. It's so early in the summer that I still have a ton of time before next June or anything. I'm not really worried about the draft right now. I got my sights set on UVA. I want to be as good as I can possibly be for when I get to Charlottesville in August or September.
What was it about? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So anything that happens. But I'm super excited to be there. It's been where I wanted to be for the past 2 years since I committed.
That was going to be my next question. That was my next question is what about Virginia pulled you over?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing when I was making my recruiting emails and trips, I wanted a school that was good academically, because I didn't want to go somewhere that had a good baseball program, but what I didn't think was necessarily a good academic school. Because in case baseball doesn't work out, which I hope it does 110%, but just in case it doesn't, I would have a good education to fall back on to be successful. So, of course, I had my final 5, I think. It was Virginia, I like North Carolina, Duke, Stanford, Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech. Those were kind of the ones that I was looking to go to. And I was going to go to all of them the fall of my recruiting season, but I went to UVA and I liked it so much that I committed there. I talked to Coach O'Connor. He sat with my parents for a while to talk to them about the program and talk to me about it a lot. I felt like I had a good natural relationship with Coach McMullen and Coach O'Connor. I think they're the best in the business. They've shown it for a while. And besides that, just the baseball program is phenomenal. 2015 national championship, which was super cool. And they're supposed to be a really good team next year. Hopefully another run to Omaha again. It's close to home, which is nice too. It's not a plane ride to get to college. It's close to home, but not too close, which I liked. 4 hours, I think. But definitely at the end of the day, it was academics and good program and just good coaches. It was honestly, looking back, I have no regrets, and I can't wait to get there.
Nice.
And I think that's one of the reasons that UVA probably recruits as well as they do in baseball. It's just the all-around environment, the coaching staff, everything that they can offer. And I figured that it was probably the closest to all those schools to home that you mentioned.
It was.
Sort of wrapping up here. What are your goals for the rest of the summer? I mean, do you have sort of particular things you're trying to hit? Is it just more go out there, perform well, or are there sort of already like numbers in your head, things that you're trying to achieve, not only from like an in-game perspective, but just also in terms of, like you said, 100 miles per hour, from an outfield throw or something like that?
Yeah, I wanted a 6.25 100 at the showcase.
Jeez.
Didn't get it because I wanted my 10-yard split down. Because I got that down, I'd be running a 6.1. But I think my 10-yard split was a 1.64, which is good, not crazy. When I get up to speed, I don't think I lose. So that's what I just try to get up to as fast as I can, and not an arrogant way, but that's my favorite thing to do. I've been running since forever. So, yeah. So I wanted a 6.25 100. Didn't get there. I think if I had a season, I might have been closer. But that, hopefully, I'll get that maybe in the future. I don't know if we'll be doing much more showcase stuff, so I don't know if I'll get up there. And then, of course, just see pitching, get everything down to where I want it to be. And then other goals, I just want to be an Under Armour and Perfect Game All-American. I think that'd be super cool. Get to play with the best kids. I've been looking forward to maybe being invited to those, and the invite should be coming out soon. So that would be super cool for me. And other than that, just play baseball and have a fun summer.
Stay humble, man.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I can name 2 guys in big league ball that are 6'4" and are 80 runners. So if you get there, we'll be writing. Hey, let's shift away from the baseball thing a little bit and kind of go a little bit lighter here at the end. We got 3 questions for you. I think they're more difficult than the baseball questions personally.
Right.
It's going to put your feet to the fire. What is the worst movie that you've seen recently?
I haven't seen any movies recently because all the movies I've seen recently have been so bad. Because I just feel like all the movies coming out recently, they just don't catch my attention. I really like a funny comedy movie, but I guess Will Ferrell hasn't been in as many movies, and he's one of my favorite actors, so I'm not as interested.
He's got a new one on Netflix the other night.
Really?
It's a CSC, but yeah, it's all right.
It's a good one. It's worth the watch.
Eurovision. Yeah.
And there's not a Borat 2 yet, so I'm a little disappointed about that, but it's whatever.
All right. Ralph?
What's the other questions? I thought you had all the
all right, I'll do the last 2 here.
All right.
The second one is, of all the facts that you know, what's the absolute dumbest?
That's a tough one.
Any questions, Joe, man?
Did you know that Pringles aren't actually potato chips?
That's pretty good. You're gonna have to explain.
I think somebody told me that they're like potato flakes or something, and they're not exactly potato chips. And all the potato chip brands got mad at them, so they had to like market them not as potato chips.
Wow.
But they're not potato chips, so they're healthy.
No. All right, I got last one, and it's on the same subject. It's on the food subject. You have to describe yourself as a food and tell us why it makes sense.
That's hard too. I have to think about that one. Of course, the first thing to come to mind are state because I like it, but I guess it wouldn't really describe me. I'd say, I guess a lot of people would say fish because they're good swimmers. I sink. I can't say that. I don't know. Tough. Because I like to describe myself as fast, but you don't really eat fast animals. So
Deer are pretty fast.
Deer. Oh, I do
A
like
buck.
Beef jerky.
He's deer jerky.
Deer jerky and bologna. I do like Central Pennsylvania stuff. You have to like that here. You don't fit in if you don't.
There's no coming back from this, Benny.
No, it's not as fair.
Is that it? Are those all the Eddie questions, Joe?
No, I mean, Eddie had one more if you want me to throw it your way.
Throw it out there, man.
Anything.
All right. What is the theme song for your entire life?
I have one stuck in my head, but I can't think of what it is. I don't know. I got kind of like history, so the Big Bang Theory, I guess. There
you
go. Mad Science History, Unraveling the Mystery. Yeah, that one. That was my favorite show for a while.
All right.
Awesome.
And then I watched it all in like a month in quarantine, and that was it. So.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
I'm a history junkie. That's one of my things I like to do. So.
I appreciate that. Is that what you're going to major in at UVA? I'm a former history.
Maybe. I don't know. My dad's a doctor, so I wanted to be a doctor as well. Maybe.
That's a better choice.
That's a better path.
Better choice.
Better path. But that might be tough with baseball, so we'll have to see.
Understood.
But who knows?
Good fallback.
Yes,
absolutely.
Very good fallback. A lot of work.
Might even be more long term. You know, you might be in the minor leagues longer in medical school than you are in. You know.
Yeah, I think my dad was 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, and then 4 years of residency. So 12 years. Yeah, if you're stuck in the minors for that long. So probably more.
Yeah, exactly. Max Muncy had an easier time in the minors.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. But Benny, I want to thank you for coming on and being as candid as you were. And, best of luck. And we're going to look for you going in the top 5 next year or going to UVA.
Maybe. We'll have to see.
Yes, sir. Either way.
The best player that I can be. That's the only